Okay, so get this. We're diving into a story today that honestly gave me chills just reading it. Seriously, you're describing this incredible old house, 3 stories tall, spacious rooms, you said, and just like oozing history. And that feeling, like you're not alone, even when you should be. It's like those old places, they hold on to things,
Yeah.
more than just memories, right? And in your case, well, it wasn't just a feeling, was it? You described waking up one night, and it wasn't a nightmare or anything, but so clear, so vivid, you still remember it all these years later. Your bedroom, moonlight streaming in, your eyes adjusting to the dark, and then you saw him. A
Mhm.
young boy, maybe 8 years old, dark hair with this neat part down the middle. You even remembered he had a striped shirt on, and you watched him run across the room. Gone just like that.
That clarity, that image sticking with you, makes you think about what we really see, especially in those moments between being awake and asleep.
Right. And you mentioned it wasn't just a fleeting thing either. As vivid as it was, it actually started to make more sense, believe it or not, when you talked to your partner's brother. He'd lived in the house before you years earlier. So what happened when you started to tell him what you'd seen? Because his reaction, let's just say it wasn't what you expected.
Yeah, it's like when someone else, especially someone who's been there before, they confirm what you thought you saw. Like suddenly it's not just you. That's when things get really interesting.
Interesting might be putting it lightly. You said he just froze.
Huh.
And then, get this, before you even got to the details, he described the same boy, same age, same striped shirt, even the hair, the part down the middle, everything. It's like having your own memory mirrored back to you, isn't it? And kind of creepy. But if the sighting itself wasn't enough, it sounds like things kind of escalated after that, didn't they? You started hearing sounds, right? Scratching, tapping, like something was inside the walls.
Sound, especially in an old house,
Yeah.
it can really get to you. Every little creaking groan, your mind starts
Uh,
to wonder.
Totally. And you and your partner, you tried to figure it out, didn't you? Like checking for loose pipes, maybe some kind of animal, anything that made sense. But you never found an explanation, did you? And this is where the story gets even wilder, I think. It involves your partner's grandfather, a family gathering, and a piece of history that kind of brings it all together. You were talking to his grandfather, and he's reminiscing about the land, where the house was built. What was it he told you about that spot before the house? I mean,
It's like those stories, especially family stories. They get woven into the place, don't they?
and in this case, well, the story his grandfather told you that kind of explains everything, doesn't it? He's talking about this family way back who lived on that same piece of land long before any house was there. And they had a son, right? A young boy, about 8 years old. And he fell into a well and died.
Well, it's always give me the creeps. It's like a doorway or something.
Totally. And that one detail, that tragedy, it just makes everything else make sense, right? The boy you saw, the age, that exact spot. And if that wasn't enough, there's one more thing you mentioned, something that happened a year later. You'd moved out by then, but your partner's grandmother needed some help around the house, so a friend of yours moved in with her boyfriend. And here's the thing, they didn't know anything about your experience. They had never heard about the boy or anything. But one night, your friend's boyfriend is walking down the hallway. And he sees him.
Wow. So someone completely new, no preconceived ideas,
Yeah.
and they see the same thing. It's like whatever's there, it's imprinted on the place.
And he describes the same dark hair, the striped shirt, everything. It's like this boy, he never left.
Yeah.
What do you think? Was he trying to tell them something? Or was he just stuck?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Mm.
Why do some spirits linger? Is it something they need to do? Or something keeping them there?
The way you described him, it wasn't like he was threatening or anything, but he wasn't at peace either, was he?
Lost, maybe.
It's definitely given me a lot to think about. I bet everyone listening is feeling the same way. What do you think is going on in that house? It's easy to get caught up in the spooky stuff. But maybe it's a reminder that energy, especially the energy of a life cut short, maybe it sticks around. Maybe we feel it, even if we don't always understand it. Anyway, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive. Thanks for coming along with us, and until next time, take care.